And what's up, everybody? This is Steven Vincent from the Chairman's Wrestling Podcast, and today we're going to talk about August 2nd, Smackdown Live. And I will say, Smackdown looked like they got together somewhat last night. The show was a lot better than the first one, though there was a few things I didn't like, of course, but there was some great things. There's definitely some great things. And we will go ahead and dive right in and talk about those things that happened on SmackDown Live. Twitter, as always, at Chairman Podcast. Give me a follow. Send me some tweets. Follow me as I live tweet shows. And just go on about rants and rambles. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, because that would be really cool if you did. Anyways, the show started off with Shane McMahon talking to Randy Orton and some other superstars, but the show really picked up momentum when Dean Ambrose came to the ring, and basically, he is the WWE World Champion. And he said a few things about Dolph Ziggler, his opponent for SummerSlam, a match that a whole lot of people weren't really getting excited about, because why do we want to see Ambrose and Ziggler? It's a match we've seen a few times already. There's nothing special about it. Ambrose should be fighting somebody else. But here comes Dolph Ziggler, and I will say I was impressed with Ziggler last night. His opening promo made us give a shit. He really had some energy. He has a new fire under him. He's got this whole me against the world attitude, and it's great. Ziggler is rolling on all cylinders right now. He's hot, guys. He's white hot. I mean, it's incredible with this promo. So I'm excited now for SummerSlam because of this match we have with Ziggler and Ambrose, because of this promo. Because every time Ziggler would say, he deserves this chance and he's going to beat Dean Ambrose, Ambrose would just calmly stand there and be like, no, you're not. And it was great because Ambrose didn't care, didn't really show any respect towards Ziggler, and Ziggler was getting pissed. And it was great. It was a great way to start the show. And, just when, they said their things and Ambrose went to the back, Ziggler was left in the ring, so it's like, okay, cool. But then all of a sudden, Bray Wyatt shows up, so we're thinking he's going to shoot a promo. But instead, Wyatt's in the ring with Ziggler and just destroys him with his sister Abigail. And Wyatt is now there challenging Ziggler for his spot. Wyatt says Ziggler doesn't deserve it. Wyatt said he should be the one facing Ambrose at SummerSlam for the WWE World Championship. So this is awesome, because now Bray Wyatt is in a major storyline, guys. This is great for Bray Wyatt, and this is awesome for Bray Wyatt fans, because you thought after last week he losing the six-pack challenge that he was kind of lost in the shuffle then. There'd be nothing for him at SummerSlam. But Lord and behold, he's got a chance to steal the show from Ziggler and take his spot to face Ambrose. So the match is made when Ziggler goes backstage, confronts Shane and Daniel Bryan, and tells them he wants the match with Wyatt. And of course, those guys try to talk him out of it, saying you have nothing to prove, but Ziggler wants to prove it to himself, and he pretty much hates all the haters. So that's how we started SmackDown. Just like Raw did, start off with a great opening segment to get you hooked. So, well done there, SmackDown. The first match of the night, though, was pretty cool, because we have a number one contender match for the Intercontinental Championship held by The Miz. And we had Apollo Crews, Baron Corbin, and Kalisto. Now, Corbin and Cruz were involved in the six-pack challenge last week with the right to face Ambrose. However, neither of these two men made that, match there, so they are not there. They're here with Kalisto. And Kalisto is a former United States champion, so he knows what it's all about to get the gold. He's also a former tag team champion, so Kalisto's been decorated before in the WWE, or NXT, I guess. Did I say NXT tag team titles? Not WWE? Whatever. Anyways, so, Corbin and Cruz obviously haven't tasted gold yet in the WWE or NXT when they were there, so these guys really want to win this match. And it was a decent match, Miz on commentary with Maurice, spitting his spew. And, I was kind of fine with either Corbin or Cruz winning this match, just because it'd be kind of a fresh face holding some gold, potentially if they beat The Miz, of course, which I think whoever does win this match is going to face Miz at SummerSlam. And, Kalisto, his United States title run earlier this year really didn't do anything for me. I mean, Kalisto's got some cool moves, and he makes matches exciting, but it's like the whole, I don't know, there's just something about the guy that doesn't get me invested, I guess, completely. Not like the moveset that Cruz has, or, the ways that Baron Corbin constructs himself as a lone wolf. But anyways, Apollo Crews is the one that won this match. He has the right now to face The Miz at SummerSlam, most likely, for the Intercontinental Championship. So, Apollo Crews, who kind of debuted a few months ago, really didn't have much going on, but now the brand split happens, and Cruz now 2 weeks in a row finds himself in high-profile situations, and now a title match at SummerSlam. So, there are finally people realizing the talent that Apollo Crews has, and I'm excited to see what's in store next for Apollo Crews. And having met Apollo Crews a few months ago before a payback outside, freezing my ass off in Chicago, I will say Crews is a super nice guy, and I wish him all the best. Now I'm kind of curious what's going to happen to Baron Corbin on the other hand, because I thought he could have won this match. He won the Andre the Giant Royal Battle Royal at WrestleMania. I figured they would catapult him to big things. Obviously the WWE has a thing with bigger guys, but obviously Corbin hasn't really had much other than a lengthy, lost, meaningless feud, this sort of space with Dolph Ziggler for the last how many months? The same Dolph Ziggler, mind you, who's on fire right now in the main event or Smackdown for SummerSlam. But things happen, I guess. So you're probably gonna see Baron Corbin and Kalisto feud because that's what happens. Anyways, Apollo Crews Miz. Then next we had Becky Lynch versus Eva Marie. So the SmackDown women obviously have a lot of challenges ahead of them because they don't have a title yet, and the Raw brand is looking great with Sasha Banks, Charlotte, and the domination of Nia Jax. So we all know what Becky can do, but what can the Red Queen do? Well, the Red Queen gets the ring, and she's trying to be all model-like, sexy, blah, 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 and, she doesn't even wrestle. She pulls a cramp or something. So they call the match. There's no match. Becky Lynch is like, what the hell, man? I want a match. So Becky Lynch fans are disappointed, and this was complete, hot garbage. So this set back the SmackDown women's division, in my opinion. I don't know what their end game is here. Are they going to try to have a Becky Eva Marie feud or something? I don't know, but this whole thing really was stupid, filler, and I wasn't a fan. But then we have the debut of the American Alpha, and this is the first tag team match of the new era for SmackDown. They didn't have a tag team match last week. We got one here tonight. And Chad Gable and Jason Jordan are phenomenal, guys. They are awesome. If you didn't see them at NXT, you're in for a treat because these two are the real deal. They took on the Vaudevillains, which kind of surprised me because I noticed a lot on, with Braun Strowman and Nia Jax, they were kind of beating up local talents to kind of get themselves enhanced. So I kind of figured American Alpha might be beating an enhancement team. But it turns out they're going to face the Vaudevillains, who have fallen from grace mightily the last few months. Vaudevillains made their debut in the main roster a few months ago. They had a few chances at the Tag Team Championship, and things have just really gone south for these guys, as I feared. They were going to end up being another Ascension, an NXT tag team that had success there, but got to the main roster and kind of just fell off. And that's what's exactly happening to Aiden English and Simon Gotch. Now, of course, this could also be punishment for Simon Gotch because of the whole supposed backstage brawl that happened with Sin Cara a few weeks ago. I really don't know, but obviously I do know American Alpha is the real deal, guys. Curious to see where they go from here. Unfortunately, with no tag team titles on the SmackDown brand right now, these guys are literally fighting for nothing but show. So I'm curious to see where the SmackDown tag team division goes after this. But hey, welcome to SmackDown, American Alpha. And then we had this. AJ Styles, John Cena for the, 12th time now? So it looks like this little feud is going to continue one more time, guys. They did their thing at Money in the Bank. They brought their friends along for Battleground. And now they're going to have the grand finale, the rubber match at SummerSlam. It's official. Cena Styles, Part 3. And this promo drug on. Some people, I should say a lot of people, I guess, were kind of a big fan of this promo. How Cena had all that, getting people rallied up, and, being the top guy and why he's still in the WWE. I felt this thing just drug out. There's only so much that Styles and Cena can say to each other to the point where I don't care anymore. And this feud is really turning me off. Now, when Kevin Owens and John Cena feuded last year, it was exciting and fun. But now, I feel like Styles, is lost without the club by his side. And I know Styles can go as a singles guy. He did for how many years? But, it's almost like when he reconnected with Gallows and Anderson, there was something special there. And then just right when they were picking up some momentum, they take it away from us, throwing the club onto Raw, putting Styles on Smackdown, and now he's trying to go solo again against the man that runs the place, and it's just not working. I'll be thankful when this feud is over and Styles and Cena move on to bigger and brighter things. But unfortunately, we're going to have probably another couple weeks of 15, 20-minute promos of these guys spewing their thing. So if you don't like it like me, you're just going to have to tolerate it. And if you do like it, then you like it. And then we had Randy Orton taking on Fandango with Tyler Breeze. And obviously it was a way to get Orton elevated before his big match versus Brock Lesnar. And of course, those that watch Raw know Orton crashed the show. And RKO out of nowhere Lesnar's ass in the middle of the ring. Well, Lesnar didn't take too kindly to that, and he showed up at SmackDown just as Orton was putting the finishing touches on Fandango. Hops the barricade, takes out the, enhancement talent security guards, and then before Orton realized what the hell's going on, bam, F5, center of the ring, with Lesnar rocking his Suplex City, Atlanta, Georgia t-shirt, even though SmackDown was in Nashville. So you think maybe he would have changed his shirt, but it looks like he didn't. So either way, that happened. They're even now. We got a few more weeks of SummerSlam. Thing is Lesnar going to be on anymore? Who knows? But needless to say, guys, this Orton-Lesnar thing is getting fun, and I'm really excited for this match. It's a match I wanted to see for years because these two debuted at the same time. Of course, Lesnar was shot right to the moon from the get-go, while Orton kind of got hurt and was kind of changing characters quite a bit until he found himself with Evolution, and then he just took off. So from there, and then believe it or not, these guys, really never wrestled except for like one time early in the day, 2002 on SmackDown when Lesnar was the Beast and Orton was just, a new guy. So, obviously you think of all these years, these guys would have had a epic clash, but they never did. Because you have to remember, Lesnar only wrestled for a couple of years, and then he left the WWE for how many years? Tried the NFL thing, the UFC thing. He's gone for all this time. While he was gone, Orton was rising to the top, of the WWE. And then when Lesnar came back in 2012, sure, Orton was still there. But, it took about 4 years, and this fight are finally connecting. So this is a match that's definitely SummerSlam worthy. I'm ready for it. And, the RKO I know are in Raw, the F5 counter on SmackDown, it's getting me excited. So this is a match. This is going to be fun. But then after that, we had another attempt at a women's match on SmackDown. The first one, of course, didn't go very well. The second one didn't either. We had Carmella and Natalya backstage kind of getting a little altercation. So they make a match. So Carmella comes to the ring. And then Natalya, her new thing is now attacking people. Her little heelish black heart thing, whatever it is. So she takes Carmella down, puts her in the sharpshooter, and we don't have a match. So the second time tonight for SmackDown, the women's match doesn't happen. So we don't get a women's match. We get 2 little segments, and that's it. So this is a black mark on the women's division of SmackDown. And I thought after last week, when we saw the women kind of come out, think of Alexa Bliss and Naomi coming out along with everybody else, we thought the women's division of SmackDown was going to go somewhere, and instead we see crap. Naomi and Alexa weren't even on, and then we have, Carmella getting taken out by Natalya, which I guess is elevating their story, per se, but, if you're a women's wrestling fan, you're going to be disgusted with SmackDown because it didn't deliver. Mick Foley's probably cringing, but, so, yeah, it was bad, guys. I really hope they make up for it next week with the women because they deserve better than this. But then we got to the main event. Dolph Ziggler, Bray Wyatt. Winner gets to challenge Ambrose at SummerSlam for the WWE World title. And this match was great, guys. It was a lot of action. Both guys, legitimately had chances to win this match. There was some old school techniques here, tamper with the turnbuckle, doing things desperately to win. The tide was constantly changing. One moment you thought Ziggler was going to put away Wyatt. He hit his finishing move on him and the zigzag. And then Wyatt kicked out. And you're like, oh, wow, guys. This is like, Wyatt kicked out, man. Usually that don't happen too often. But he did it. So you're thinking, okay, maybe Wyatt's going to win this match. But, maybe not. But then, when Wyatt, hit the avalanche, he just picked Ziggler up like nothing and slams him in the mat here. I thought it was done. And the mind games and everything. But then Ziggler busts out that super kick right underneath the beard of Bray Wyatt, falls down on the 1, 2, 3. Ziggler keeps his spot against Ambrose for SummerSlam. I kind of thought there was going to be some kind of swerve here. I thought we were going to see a triple threat match just because that's kind of the way things go nowadays when someone else tries to enter a picture. And the way Dean Ambrose was with Rollins and Reigns last month saying, I don't care, I'll fight them all. But that's not going to happen. But who's to say it still might not happen? It still could happen. We still got some time between now and SummerSlam. But so afterwards, Eric Rowan shows up, and he takes out Ziggler. Ambrose is doing commentary. He don't like that. So he runs in there, tries to make the save, but Wyatt and Rowan are too much, and they take down Ambrose and Ziggler. So, if you've watched wrestling as long as I have, guess what's next week's going to be for the main event of SmackDown? Ambrose Ziggler, SummerSlam opponents. They're going to team up in a tag team against Wyatt and Rowan. I will guarantee that. So that match is going to be next week. And then, of course, the Wyatts will probably win. Ambrose and Ziggler will blame each other. And they're going to start trading shots. So, that's next week. You'll see it because I'm calling it because that's the way things get booked. But yeah, that's the way it goes. Sister Abigail, boom. That's that. So that was SmackDown. Better SmackDown than last week by far. The only thing I don't like is the use of the women on SmackDown. That was pretty lame. And Dolph Ziggler definitely was your MVP. Great opening promo to get you invested in this match at SummerSlam. Great match against Bray Wyatt coming on top. So he doesn't look like an MVP in this picture here with Bray Wyatt and Rowan laughing at him, but Ziggler is the man right now of SmackDown. And now we're going to go to my top 10 wrestlers of the week. And, there's definitely some tough choices to make. I took into consideration things from last week into this week as well. And then, of course, the wins count, the actions, what they've done. There's lots of intangibles. So, let's go ahead and get her started. Number 10, Bray Wyatt. And you could say, well, he lost his last 2 matches. Yeah, he did lose his last 2 matches, but guess what? Those 2 matches were for a shot at the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. So, that's huge. And the fact that he's constantly getting Ziggler, playing some mind games, he's getting in there. So, he's not going away, guys. Bray Wyatt is going to stay around one of the SmackDown elite. So, I'm looking forward to see where we go here. I'm hoping there's something big for him at SummerSlam. But until then, that's where it's going to be. And then we move on to number 9. And I have selected Rusev. He's a great United States champion. He defended the title successfully against Mark Henry on Raw the other night. And now it looks like he's going to get into a big feud of Roman Reigns. And, you know, I'm not really sure when their title match will be. I'm thinking SummerSlam. But, you know, if Rusev can take Reigns down, that is going to be a huge feather in his cap. It's going to legitimize his reign as the United States champion. And I was talking to someone today about Rusev and how he can only, you know, be a top player as long as he has a title. And, you know, I think Rusev doesn't need a title to be successful, but creative needs to also take care of Rusev. Because you remember when he was the United States champion the first time and he was pretty much unstoppable, and then he ran into the John Cena buzzsaw, and he almost never recovered from that because the losses were piling up. He wasn't as dominant. The League of Nations thing was awful for him, and then now he's solo. Well, he's back with Lana, and you know it's a great pairing. He's got the title back, so Rusev is legit. Number 8 is Charlotte, the former WWE Women's Champion. You know, obviously lost the title last week. It was a big blow to her. So, you know, getting drafted, you know, as the second pick for Raw. But, you know, she got some momentum back this week with Chris Jericho in the mixed tag match when they defeated Sasha and Enzo. And Charlotte getting that natural selection pinfall on Sasha basically says Charlotte is still in the conversation as the top women wrestler. So this is definitely going to be a big match at SummerSlam between her and Sasha. Looking forward to it. Number 7 is going to be Apollo Crews. You know, a month ago, Apollo Crews was an afterthought. But the last few weeks with the brand split, SmackDown's Apollo Crews is one of the best. Or should I say Apollo Creed. You know, he won that Battle Royal to take that last spot in the six-pack challenge. You know, and had he won that, he would have been fighting for the WWE World Championship. But, you know, he didn't win that, but he got another shot at SummerSlam for the Intercontinental title versus The Miz. So, Apollo Crews could be onto some big things here, guys. Number 6 is Finn Balor. Last week, he had a great, you know, debut on Raw. He won the Fatal 4-Way match. He beat Roman Reigns, center of the ring, and got put into the match against Seth Rollins to compete for the Universal Championship at SummerSlam. Finn, though, didn't wrestle this week, and, you know, he had a little in-ring confrontation with Seth Rollins, and he kind of took a shot at him after Rollins tried to cheap shot him first. But, you know, Finn could obviously really crack up these rankings here if he has the Universal Championship by his side when he leaves SummerSlam. So, hopefully the Demon wrestles again. Number 5 is Sasha Banks, your WWE Women's Champion. You know, and I said last week she was my number 1 MVP of the week. You know, between her and Finn Balor, I say Sasha because she won the gold. You know, but unfortunately she had a little setback this week when she lost to Charlotte and Chris Jericho when she was a tag team with Enzo Amore. But this is definitely not discrediting Sasha at all. There's just a lot of great superstars right now in WWE, and Sasha is one of them. She's one of my favorites, and I'm looking forward to her match with Charlotte, as I said before. But number 4, though, guys, Dean Ambrose, the WWE World Heavyweight Champion. He's got the highest title in WWE World right now, and some people would say, well, he should be number 1, shouldn't he? And I'm going to disagree with that because he hasn't wrestled in 2 weeks. He's been kind of hanging around. And last week he really didn't do much. You know, and this week, you know, he's kind of got his feud started with Ziggler, you know, the match for SummerSlam, but, you know, there's a couple other guys that are doing a little bit more right now than Dean Ambrose. So, here they are. Number 3, Seth Rollins. Now, Seth Rollins has a huge match at SummerSlam with Finn Balor for the WWE Universal Championship. And Seth Rollins knows a thing or two about being the first. First NXT champion. First one to cash in at WrestleMania the Money in the Bank contract. The list goes on and on. This guy is the pedigree of this generation. And the reason why he's up this high is because he had a great main event Raw match with Sami Zayn. So Rollins is in the ring proving day in, day out why he is one of the elites in WWE right now. But he's not this week's top 10. He's up there, though. But number 2 goes to a guy who cross-branded this week. The Viper, Randy Orton. You know, the fact that he crashed Raw and took Brock Lesnar to Viperville, the RKO out of nowhere, was huge. You know, it set up to a huge match. It's going to get people talking, guys. You know, this is a huge match. There's a huge rivalry in the making. As I said before, I'm looking forward to it. And, of course, Orton had a match with Fandango and would have won, but Lesnar crashed it. So, Orton's your number 2 wrestler this week. And who do you think number 1 is, guys? Yep, Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler is number 1 this week in my book. I feel, you know, of his big wins the last 2 weeks, you know, the 6-pack challenge last week and Bray Wyatt this week to keep his title shot against Ambrose. There's no one else deserving of the number 1 spot right now. Dolph Ziggler is literally top notch right now, guys. He is the top wrestler this week. Can he stay here? You know, he's got SummerSlam coming up. And to stay in the top 10, especially this high up, he needs to beat Dean Ambrose and take that WWE World Championship away. Will it be done? I don't know. But we will find out. So that is my top 10 this week, guys. And that is going to do it for me. If you agree or disagree, feel free to comment, like, you know, tell me who your top 10 is, or tell me your top 3. You know, tell me what you think. But I'm on Twitter at Chairman Podcast. So that's going to do it for me this week. We talked Smackdown Live. It was a decent show. I still thought Raw was a little bit better, but I'm happy that Smackdown can go with Raw. It's probably going to even itself out, I think, when it's all said and done. So I'm excited for next week, but we got how many more days till wrestling? I should say that I will be on a mini vacation, so there will be no live tweets of Raw or SmackDown Live next week, but I will do a show. It's probably be one big show combined, Raw and SmackDown. It just depends on my time. I'll be out of town, like I said, so I need to find a way to watch Raw and SmackDown Live, and then etc., etc. So that's the plan for next week. We're not going anywhere. But like I said, no live tweets next week. So, but we will be back the following week. So with that in mind, that's it for the Chairman's Wrestling Podcast this time. Thanks for checking me out. Hit me on Twitter, subscribe to my channel, do all that fun stuff, and we'll catch you guys next time. Thanks for checking us out.